The races have been run and done as star junior athletes from across the Caribbean put on some of their best performances in the historic 50th Carifta Games and by the making of what may be the next sports powerhouse. Thousands of spectators packed the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium over the Easter holiday weekend to witness sports excellence as the Bahamas played host for these past Carifta Games. The medal count says it all. In a race to the finish, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Trinidad and Tobago taking the top 3 spots in track and field. But it was the Bahamas that carried the swimming title in a 5th consecutive win. Now in the history books, the Bahamas will forever hold bragging rights for these games as brought the country's sporting legacy into focus. Our guests tonight include the men who led the charge for hosting these games and prepared the Bahamian teams for what's being described as one of the country's best performances to date, with back-to-back wins and a new record. We'll delve into the massive efforts that led to the success on and off the track and in the water. More importantly, how we sustain some of these brilliant performances for years to come. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer. Our topic tonight, Carifta 50, becoming the next sports powerhouse. On the Record continues on the other side of this break. The project really pays itself back.
Correct.
They set up
at the conference, the school.
As a journalist, I always have to focus on the facts, and sometimes that means going to investigate for myself. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on RTV.
And welcome back to On the Record. We've got an amazing show planned for you tonight as we are coming off of the heels of the historic 50th Carifta Games. But before we get to the action, here's a look at what's been happening in news since we last spoke. We are just out of the Easter holiday, but not before millions of Christians around the world celebrated with Good Friday and Easter Sunday church services. On Good Friday, in particular, churches like St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church and St. George's Anglican Church held reenactments of Christ's crucifixion. Over in Grand Bahama, Jubilee Cathedral, a service was held to remember Jesus' death on the cross and his sacrifice. Of course, you know, Easter is the most important time on the liturgical calendar, and Bahamians never shy away from turning out in numbers. Also on Good Friday, the 50th Carifta Games got underway. The Bahamas walked away with a second-place finish behind Jamaica in track and field, while the Bahamas swimming team took gold for the 5th consecutive year. Congratulations. It was also a proud moment for us here at RTV as the station was chosen to broadcast the 50th Carifta Games across the Caribbean and into other territories, a first for the network. Congratulations to my colleagues. You did an amazing job. First time for us here, and certainly very, very proud. Also, day 2 at Carifta, the track and field saw an action-packed evening at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, with Team Bahamas stepping away with more medals and broken records. Sunday in particular, Brendan Vanderpool broke the Carifta record in the pole vault with a height of 5.06 meters. You see there that winning jump, winning leap there. And I just have to tell you this. It was late in the night. Everybody had gone home. And we were just waiting for it to wrap up. And all of a sudden, he decided to go for the record. He took the leap, cleared the bar, and even though it was a small crowd, the stadium erupted in the control room where I was. It all erupted in clapping and cheers, and such a proud moment for me. That was one of the greatest moments. You know, pole vaulting is not a big thing for us, but you know, I'm so proud of what he did for us, and let's hope that this now leads to greater things. So congratulations. That was my Carifta moment, I just have to tell you. Also ripped from the headlines, a police officer who allegedly had $450 in fake currency at his home is now facing jail time. Constable Akeem Luxmond on Tuesday was ordered to wear an ankle bracelet as a condition of his $7,000 bail. He pleaded not guilty and has been prohibited from duties pending the outcome of his trial, which is set for July 26th. Whenever police officers are before the courts, it's never, ever a good look for the folks there on the force. Well, Alfred Mortimer, the former campaign general of ex-MP and Cabinet Minister Lanisha Roll, has agreed to testify against the embattled politician at her upcoming corruption trial. Mortimer pleaded guilty to bribery as part of a plea deal in the case. In a court appearance this week, Mortimer saying he willingly entered into the plea agreement. Finally, it's been a rainy couple of days here in New Providence, in case you haven't noticed. Overnight storms left their mark in communities across the capital, leaving morning commuters combating the flooding. One of the usual suspects, the area between Victoria Avenue and Christie Street. You saw Marlena Leonard there, one of the R News reporters who was out covering this all. Like I said, usual suspects. When it rains, we know the flooded areas. Let's hope we get some remediation soon to at least do something about it. All right. And that does it for this segment. Much more to get into in our show tonight. Our topic, Carifta 50. Becoming the next sports powerhouse. It's a show you don't want to miss. We're back right after this break. So the project really pays itself back.
Correct.
They set up
At the conference,
the school.
As a journalist, I always have to focus on the facts, and sometimes that means going to investigate for myself. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on RTV.
You're watching On the Record. Our discussion tonight puts a spotlight on this past 50th Carifta Games, where Team Bahamas put on an impressive showing in both track and field and swimming, bringing home over 40 track and field medals in a second place overall finish, and 85 medals in swimming for a first place win for the 5th consecutive time. I'm happy to welcome to our discussion tonight the CEO of the local organizing committee, Lyndon Maycock, and President of the Bahamas Aquatics Federation. Gentlemen, welcome to On the Record.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jerome. It's great to be here.
I am so thrilled to be able to have this discussion because I think this is the right time to have it. We are fresh off of Carifta.
Yes.
We are still talking about it. People are still excited. But it's also an opportunity, I think, for us to begin to look ahead. So, what a performance we saw this past weekend. Bahamians were bursting with pride, whether they were in Curacao or whether they were here in Nassau. We also played host to what I would say was one of the most successful Carifta games ever. I want to start with you, Lyndon Maycock. This was certainly a massive and historic undertaking, considering these were the 50th games in our 50th year of independence. I can only imagine what it must have been like for you, the heavy lifting to get these games off the ground. First of all, tell us about the undertaking, and are you proud of what you were able to accomplish?
Thank you, Jerome. Yes, we are very proud as a team, LOC, of what we were able to accomplish. we would have started the preparation and the planning for these games exactly 7 months ago. And so we had 7 months to plan and execute an amazing 50th anniversary of the Carifta Games. We took the notion that these were the 50th games, and we wanted to do something special, to take it to the next level. It was the games that is known in the world as the best junior meet in the world for athletics. And so we took that notion that if these are the best junior meet in the world for athletics, then we ought to have the games resemble that. Mm-hmm. And so we started in earnest, our team, and the results were amazing.
We've played host to numerous other major sporting events in the past, including things like the IAAF World Relays. I imagine one of the benefits of hosting such a major event are the teachable moments.
Yes.
What would you say were some of those moments this time around?
This time around, there were a lot of teachable moments. It kind of put us to the test because of the short time that we had to execute the games, and we did a lot of stuff outside of the box. We wanted to create an experience for persons who would have attended the games, and so we started off in earnest with developing and the Legends Walk. The hurricane would have kind of demolished the Legends Walk, and so we used the Legends Walk in December as the impetus to start in terms of the road to the Carifta Games for the 50. And so we would have honored Shawnee Miller, Anthony Strawn, Stevie Gardner during December. Mm-hmm. And so we created the Legends Walk. And then also for the 50th anniversary, it was a teachable moment. It was 50 years. Let's show some history. And so we then decided that we're going to create an exhibition in the World War II bunker. It's a museum type atmosphere. And so we created an exhibition with respect to the 50 years journey from a Bahamian perspective. Sure. With respect to the Carifta Games.
I know that coming off of gold medal performances in the Olympics, and generally our track and field athletes are doing well. Was it easier to get the participation of corporate Bahamas and other partners? Yeah. Was it easier to get it because people are still pretty much on a high from all of the accomplishments?
Yes, it was very easy. Very easy. My good friend Alden said, I took the liquidity. At least we took the liquidity out of the corporate Bahamas.
You got your time. I'm coming to you right now. You chomping at the bit, ready to go.
And so it was very easy. Sure. In terms of athletics, we worked hard. My marketing team worked extremely hard in terms of our goal with respect to getting corporate Bahamas on board. Our goal really and truly was to attain $3 million in corporate sponsors. We short forward half of that, 1.5, but at the end of the day, we would have accomplished what we would have set out to accomplish. And so we thank corporate Bahamas, our title partner, Oak Tree Medical Center. That deal was sealed 5 a.m. in the morning at Oak Tree Medical Center. And that's how corporate Bahamas just rally around in terms of the largest sponsorship level in the history of any sporting event in the Bahamas.
Which shows us that we can do it. Yes. If there is, and the reason I ask the question, if there is that level of enthusiasm,
yes.
if people want to do it, we can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What does this say really though about our success? What does this success say about our ability to host major international sporting events? It's not our first rodeo,
no, it's not our
and
first
we've got more to go. What
yes.
does this say about our ability to do that?
Bahamians are very talented, and once we put our mind to anything, we can do it. Just a week and a half before the game started, I would have reached out to Jason Minnis and Marco Mullings to create a torch for the games. A week and a half to Rome. And if persons would see that torch today, it's still erected. It's on the eastern side of the stadium. And there was the leader of the OAS, Baroness. And I was taking her over to the west side, and she was walking past the torch. And she said, oh my, this feels like when I was at the Commonwealth Games in Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
Then I knew. We always know. Bahamians, especially when you put them to the test, they can rise to the occasion.
We could do it when we want to.
Yes.
We got want to do it first.
Yes.
Finally, before we get on to Algernon, I noticed, during the morning sessions, they were not as well attended, and at one point there was even free admission. What can we do to get more fan participation? And let me just say that too, that every day that I went, I saw the Jamaican contingent. There was no doubt they were there in large numbers. We had the benefit of watching it on television, which
Yes.
I did at some points as well. But what do you think needs to be done to get more fan participation? Not that I'm an athlete, but I know that when our athletes are out there and they're running or swimming, and you hear that jog canoe or you hear that cheering, there's something that happens.
Yes.
What can we do to get more?
I guess traditionally the morning sessions are free, and during the morning sessions there are preliminaries and heats, and persons tend to come out in the evening because it's cooler, and those events are finals.
Right.
And so traditionally the morning sessions are usually just for persons to qualify for the evening session, and that's where the competition really happens, in the evening sessions.
All right, now on to the president of the Bahamas Aquatics Federation, Mr. Algernon Cargill, bringing you into the conversation now. While we were playing host for track and field, you and, correct me if I'm wrong, a 36-member swim team were in Curacao, securing a 5th straight win. Or as we hear in the sporting world, a 5-peat. Let's take a look at this recap right now.
With a total of 1,113 points, Team Bahamas will be bringing home a 5th consecutive crown. The 4 days of competition have come to an end, with the Bahamas taking in a total of 85 medals. Last year, he served as assistant coach for the first time for a Carifta team. And in his first year as head coach, Cameron Bruni will return home today with a 5th consecutive crown. While the win was still fresh, we asked him how it feels to be the head coach of a national team in the 50th year of our independence.
Feels great. These kids came out there, they did what they needed to do, and it feels good that they are able to do something for the country for a 5th straight time.
Several of the swimmers were also excited about the 5-peat.
A lot of people doubted us because our team was so young this year and fresh, but we always had faith in our team.
And I think that the whole team has really done a great job throughout this entire trip. And I'm so proud of my team. They came out, they did their thing, they swam hard. I had a lot of confidence in them.
For me and Nigel are in the same boat, but this is our last Carifta, so it makes it even more memorable that our 5th win is our last one.
It's a really special feeling. It's a special experience.
A lot of people wanted to make this team, but they weren't able to. So I feel really happy that I am on this team. And
now the top 3 countries ended up with points like this. In first place, the Bahamas had 1,113 points. In second place was the Cayman Islands with 752 points. And in third place was Trinidad and Tobago with 534 points. Reporting from Curacao for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
All right, and we're back thanks to our Sasha Lightburn and team who did a great job. Algernon, watching that, how did you feel? How do you feel that this is your 5th consecutive win?
Wow, it's really an amazing feeling. That brought back a lot of memories. Sasha did an amazing job covering Carifta Aquatics. And what was so special is that every member of the team contributed to the total points. 1,113 points is a record in Carifta. No team has ever surpassed more than 1,000 points before. And also the 85 medals we won is also another record. And 37 of those medals were gold.
How does that happen? How do you accomplish that?
Well,
I don't want you to give away all the secrets.
Well, yeah, because we know what the other countries are watching. Well, first off, it was accomplished through the hard work of the Federation executives. I want to thank them all for their contributions, as well as the coaches. We have an amazing group of coaches that traveled to Curacao, and certainly the club program was also exceptional. And with this combination, and together with the parent support, it was easy to really put this team together. It was disappointing, though, to leave some members at home because we are capped at 36 swimmers, and there were other swimmers who had qualified, but unfortunately, the rules did not allow us to select them to the team. And we look forward to them joining the team next year because everyone wants the 6 feet next year. And given that only 5 members of the team are leaving, we should have the team pretty much intact for 2024 here at home.
You've got a deep bench.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk about the next stage and the next level. There is no doubt that our swimming program is outstanding. And to be able to do this at the Carifta level speaks volumes. But the disparity that happens, though, I think, on the world stage, because we see our track and field athletes medaling in the Olympics and world championships, but we don't see the same with swimming. What's needed now to get our swimming program to that level?
And that is a conundrum we faced. We are exceptional at the junior level. At the senior level, we don't seem to be able to medal except for Ariana Vanderpool-Wallace, who won a bronze medal in the World Championships and was a finalist in the Olympic Games. The single answer is funding. There's a plethora of scholarships offered to track athletes to go to university. In swimming, the quantum of scholarships is very limited. That's the first issue we face.
Limited to us or just limited in general?
Limited in general. Even some of the top swimmers that go to university, they go on limited funding. I'm talking about in the Americans. It's the fact that they are Americans and they can qualify for other scholarships that enable them to go to school for free. But here in the Bahamas, it's very rare that a swimming athlete would receive a full scholarship to study in the United States, Canada, or even Europe. Secondly, the level of support from corporate Bahamas is limited for swimming. Lyndon cleaned up in terms of the $1.5 million he raised, and we were able to raise $70,000 in this economy.
Do you think that it is because we do better at the professional level that people will put that focus on track and field because they see it?
Absolutely, and Bahamians love winners. And track and field.
But we winning in Carifta.
Yeah, but it's more of a sensation to win at a larger level, being the Olympic Games, the World Championships, etc. And track has done a great job. And until we win that elusive Olympic medal, I believe that the gap between the funding for swimming and track and field will always exist.
All right, one more thing I've got to ask. Are we any closer this time around to an Olympic medal?
I think with the young group we have, particularly the young males, we're getting very close. We have 2 exceptional swimmers in the 15 to 17 boys category. And should they continue, they will certainly put us well in the pathway to earning that elusive Olympic medal.
So we're encouraged by that. I know that you've been very vocal about the need for more support for swimming, but not just from the government, but from corporate Bahamas, as you have said. I want us to take a quick look here at this promise made by the Prime Minister this week.
I'm very proud, extremely proud, and it's so wonderful to see where swimming has come back, particularly in the junior realm. I've been involved in swimming myself for many, many years. In fact, the coaches on the team are persons who have been swimming when I was involved in the sport, and my grandson now is following in his mother's footsteps to be another Carifta swimmer, hopefully. And I'm really proud of my swimmers, truly proud.
Now we're hosting Carifta swimming next year. Are we going to be ready for that?
Certainly, we'll be more than ready. And it will be the 6th street. For me, they need to know my history. I have a long history of swimming. I serve in the Federation. Was president of one of the most successful clubs in swimming in the 80s, over 10 years, CBs. So swimming is still a passion for me. They need not concern themselves with where the emphasis is. They'll see it as we move on.
And financially?
Both. I said, watch and see.
So, in this business, you learn something new every day. I did not know that the current Prime Minister was as involved in swimming. But listening to him, he's promised more money. He's promised that we're going to be ready for the Carifta Games. Hearing all that, your response?
Well, I had a conversation with the minister, and he's agreed to form an LOC for the organization of the Carifta Games here next year. With that LOC, we're going to bring a wealth of people together outside of the swimming community in order to do the job or try to duplicate the job that Lyndon did. Secondly, we will need more facilities here in order to train. There's only one 50-meter pool here in Nassau. And for the Bahamas to actually move to the next level, we will need more pool space in order to develop both swimming and water polo. Because our water polo team has also won Carifta 3 consecutive times.
They've been doing very well lately,
They've done extremely well, and they have to train after swimming ends. So when the swimmers leave the pool at 7 or 8 o'clock, that's when water polo jumps in. So obviously there's a need for an additional 50-meter pool. And hearing the Prime Minister promise a 50-meter pool for Nassau, or new facilities for Nassau, and a 50-meter pool for Grand Bahama, that brings us a lot of hope that we can develop swimming even further. But we realize that a promise was made, but to actually put it into action is going to be even more of a challenge, because next year is going to be pretty impossible to have a 50-meter pool in Grand Bahama. It takes more than a year to get that pool in action. The facility's built, but certainly once we see the commitment, it will give us hope that we can move forward in developing aquatics.
So we are looking forward to big things from swimming next year. I just said this thing. Take this little liberty.
Yes.
You have some great experience on the LOC side here. Lyndon and his folks have done an amazing job.
Yes, first class.
And so I'm sure the experience is in country.
Yes, it is here, and certainly they're members of Lyndon's team. We would like to adopt to work with us in developing Carifta Aquatics here in Nassau next year. We're very hopeful.
I just have one request. Whoever you get a judge at LOC, they have to dress like Lyndon.
Well, that's going to be hard. That's going to be very hard.
Full confession. When I knew Lyndon was coming on, he said, let me look for my best time.
I knew he was going to dress like this.
They need a wife like me.
There you go. Gentlemen, we'll leave it right there for now, but I want to congratulate both of you for another successful win at Carifta, and then another successful hosting of Carifta Games. You certainly have made the Bahamas proud, no matter where you were. You know, over the weekend, we were just bursting at the seams with Bahamian pride, and you gentlemen had so much to do with that, whether you were organizing or helping to put the team together. So, you know, thank you for just making us proud to be Bahamian, and couldn't happen at a better time. 50 years.
Yes, Jerome, that's what alphas do.
Yeah, we put alpha man. Yes. Alpha
right
for alpha.
All right, we had the conversation there.
Thank you, Lyndon.
So 40 medals secured across the Carifta track and field events, and the record-breaking performances put in by Team Bahamas over there in Curacao, putting us over the edge. Our conversation continues with the minister responsible for youth, sports, and culture, Mario Boleg. So we're going to talk to him about the track and field medals and the 85 swimming medals, and we're going to talk to him about a bunch of stuff. But here now is the record-breaking performance of the under-17 girls javelin athlete Kamara Strawn.
Yes, and that's what you want to see through these games. You want to see, hey, it's all in love, it's all in fun. Go ahead, do what you got to do. The victory's yours, you know.
Strong, slower, more powerful. That javelin pointing upward. Has she done the job of becoming champion?
So the project really pays itself back.
Correct.
They set up
at the conference.
The school.
As a journalist, I always have to focus on the facts, and sometimes that means going to investigate for myself. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on RTV.
under 17 boys 4x100 meters relay final. The Jamaicans got away quickly, closing down on the Bahamians. Down the back stretch they go. Jamaica, Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda. The Jamaicans with the 400 champion on that second leg. Problems with the change, and the Jamaicans are in trouble. Bahamas in control. Here they come to the final change. Roll on the ankle leg for Bahamas. Watson for Jamaica. Roll with the lead. Watson flies forward. Jamaica and Bahamas. Bahamas denies the Jamaicans back-to-back victories. It's Bahama time in Nassau.
You're watching On the Record. Our topic tonight, Carifta 50 becoming the next sports powerhouse. That race still gives me goosebumps. You just saw there the under 17 boys 4x100 meter relay finals. Ishmael Roll bringing home the gold. Joining me now is the Minister responsible for Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg. Minister, welcome to our studios and thanks for being here tonight. Watching that, I knew it gave me goosebumps just watching it again. Sitting here knowing that you all pulled off such a successful event. Team Bahamas doing so well. How do you feel?
Great. I'm feeling very, very great, especially with that race there with under 17 4x1, where you had Ishmael, who was also a constituent of mine, to bring home the gold. And you can see that Jamaica had him by the 20-meter mark, but then he made up his mind that, hey, he lost the 100 meters where he got the silver, and he wasn't giving up this goal, and he made sure I bring it home for the Bahamas. And you know, as you can see, my voice is going. I screamed so much.
A lot of cheering.
Yes, inside the stands for Team Bahamas that, you know, I no longer have a voice. But I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited that we pull off a great 50th. I don't think no place in the world, in the Caribbean, it could have been held other than right here in the Bahamas to have such successful games that was held.
And congratulations, you and your team, the government, have a lot to be proud of. Let's go over the medal count again. Now, over 40 medals, track and field, 85 in swimming. Do you believe that we are now headed to becoming, on our way to becoming the next sports powerhouse?
Yes, we are. I mean, when you look at it, the total counts, we would have won Carifta when you combine our swimming and our track, our medals together, even the goals. You know, in the Olympic, they say who got the most goals would have won the Olympic. And if you looked at what we would have gotten in Carifta, we would have won the overall Carifta. While they are separated in disciplines, I still think at the end of the day, that should be the final decision on who would have won Carifta. We know that Jamaica is a powerhouse when it comes to track and field in the world, you know, and that's no easy task to defeat. And we must accept that. And we are moving on our way. We were a little... I wouldn't use the word disappointed as it relates to the quarter races, the 400-meter races. They seem to be catching us up with them, but we seem to turn it around in the 200 meters and be able to run both under 17 boys and girls, and competed very well and medal in the under 20.
One of the things that stood out to me, though, I know our female athletes, our girls, have traditionally done well in the sprints and in the relays, but I saw our young men really rising to the occasion and even dominating, and so on. That's a bit of a switch.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying we are coming around, and as you said, it wasn't until back in 1985, since then to now, what we have achieved this amount of medals in Carifta. So that tells me we had 17 medals last year in the 49th game. 17. Now we improved that by having 46. That tells me the improvement that the Prime Minister and myself asked the B3As and the coaches and the athletes to do to make sure we put on the best performance we can at home. We did that. We wanted 50 for the 50th, but we got 46. We fall a little short, but we are pleased, and I'm happy, and I congratulate all the athletes, coaches, and administrators.
So certainly we've come a long way since the last games. There were so many other highlights this past weekend. We also saw some brilliant athleticism from Jemiah Nabi, who snatched gold medals in the under 17 girls 100 and 200 meter finals. Let's now take a look at her performance in the 200 meters.
Off they go. Naomi London floor to the blocks in lane number 6. London is running a fast curve. Nabi is close for the Bahamas. Into the straightaway they come. Naomi London with the lead. Nabi is there for the Bahamas. London and Nabi with a terrific battle down the stretch. East is in third. Nabi inches ahead of London and wins it for the Bahamas. 23-64. Shamaya Nabi snatches the sprint double. Once again behind, but somehow found her way to the front.
Another amazing moment there. We spoke about, where our athletes are coming. Are we seeing now that next generation of Olympians coming up now?
Oh, for sure. Shamaya Nabi will be an Olympian for the Bahamas. She has the height that's necessary to make her one of the best 200-meter runners. Also a quarter mile. She runs similar to Shawnee, and as the race gets longer, she becomes stronger at the finish, and that is why she was able to edge those young ladies out. And so it's a matter of us as an administration and a government to ensure that we have the correct support that they need, especially when it comes to subvention developing athletes, to be able to pay the right sprint coach to help strengthen Jamaya to get to where she wants to be and be a future Olympian for us.
Are you looking to put that same energy into the swimming team? Because I would have had the head of the Swimming Federation on early, and he talked about how well the swimming team does at Carifta. We dominate in Carifta, but there's a fall off.
Right. Yes, we have the same interest in increasing the amount of athletes that will be receiving subvention. I think they have a large crew right now, but at the end of the day, it's finding the right coach to enhance that talent and take it to the next level and motivate that athletes to get to the next level. Sometimes not taking any way from our Bahamian coaches who has done a great job of developing these athletes, whether it's track or swimming, and bring them to the point they are today. But what is most important, we must know our limits. And when we find out that we are pushing athlete as far as we can, then we need to find someone else who could take the baton and take them further.
And I think there are examples of that. Many of our professional athletes have gone abroad and trained, and you see the success of it. So in addition to those performances, we saw earlier in the show the new national and Carifta record holder in the under-17 girls javelin, Kamira Strawn. And then there was this from the other new record holder in the pole vault, Brendan Vanderpool.
Vanderpool speeds down the runway. Oh, gets it! Oh, he's gotten it! Brendan Vanderpool breaks the Carifta pole vault record on his first time of asking. It's been worth the wait for everyone inside the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. The Bahamian delivers the best ever performance in the pole vault at the Carifta Games. Brendan Vanderpool defends his Carifta Games title and breaks the record.
Wow. First time vault, patient, hip height over the bar. Looks like he touched it with his chest on the way down, but not enough to dislodge it. And Vanderpool is the #1 vault in Carifta.
Another wow moment for us, and I've told this story so many. It was late at night. The track part was over. Most people had left. He had already won, and we were in the control room going, "Is he really going to go for the record?" It was late. It was after 10 o'clock. First try, he clears it. To me, that was the Carifta moment.
Yeah, I was there myself along with the Prime Minister and a few other ministers. I think also Perry Christie was still there.
Yes, they both presented.
We were there to see history in the making, not knowing that was about to happen, but we were all on our feet about to leave, but noticed that he was still jumping, and we decided to hang around. So I'm happy that we were there to watch history in the making, a new national and Carifta record that has been set by another Bahamian, Vanderpool, and so you can see his excitement by doing the backflip and all that. No one was more excited than him. And what was the joy of the history is also too that him and his mother had to travel the next day.
Yes.
So the Prime Minister was there to present him with his medal, and so I know this will be a moment he will never forget.
I stood around and I captured it because some of my team had left, and it was just such an amazing, wonderful moment. One more thing before we go to the next clip, but we've done really well traditionally on the track, but here it is now, pole vaulting.
Yes.
A field event that we seem to be really doing well in, and we had the gold and the bronze in this event.
And also in javelin, we got the gold and the silver. So what I think the coaches has realized in the Bahamas is that you're going to have a tough time beating Jamaica on the track. And as you can see, Trinidad and most of these other Caribbean islands is coming. But we now understand that we focus more on capitalizing some of the medals on the field. That will add up to what we get on the track, then we'll be quite fine. And so we got to start focusing more on the field, and that's what's been happening. And as you can see, we're bringing more medals in all areas of the field.
History being what it is, if we look back, our first set of Olympic medals came
on the field.
On the field, you know.
Yeah.
John Ingram was selected as the head coach this year. He's a Grand Bahama native and the first coach out of the Family Islands. We invited Coach Ingram on our show tonight. Unfortunately, he could not join us in studio, but we spoke with him earlier via Zoom. He was proud to share a recent Family Island initiative that took the B3As outside of New Providence to find the best talent. Here's a look at what he had to say.
Jamia Nabi in the 100 and 200, she caught the eyes of the Bahamians. She did a fantastic job. She's very talented, and she's our future. Also, I was thrilled about the under 17 boys 4x1. They did a fantastic job. Van der Poel in the pole vault, breaking the record, the way he did it. Oh man, that's a Bahamian pole vault. That was fantastic. And also Camara from actually she's from Andres, and she threw that javelin, and she broke that Carifta record. I mean, it's so much events that caught my eyes, and it was a fantastic moment, and I loved it. What we plan on doing is going back out there, going through that Family Island initiative, and then we want to host more youth events for the younger kids. You know, so we gotta start there. That's our base. So once we build the base, we're gonna have a strong foundation, and I believe that once we put together the foundation, we're gonna be good in the future. Give us 2 to 3 years, and I think our program is gonna work.
Athletes like Chris Brown will tell you the talent is in the Family Islands.
Yes, it is.
And it seems like we are finally really tapping into that.
Yeah, the one thing the Prime Minister had said also too when we had met with the B3As after the Carifta in Jamaica last year was that we must find our diamonds in the rough. And they came up with the idea and the plan where the B3As would have sent a few coaches on all of the islands to ensure that we missed no one this time. History, there was the first of many in this Carifta, and this was the first time we even had an 80-member team, the maximum that who would have qualified to be able to compete.
Not just participated,
but qualified. And that is because we went in the Family Islands and we found those diamonds in the rough. And so it's important that we continue that trend. And as Coach would have said earlier, we must go back to the developmental of our primary competitions so that we can now find in these talents that we can now harness to be able to continue moving up in the ranks as it gets to junior, senior school and qualify for the Carifta.
And really, when you look at countries like Jamaica who have a very successful track and field program, they identify their stars from children.
Very early.
And like, for instance, I know they have Champs in Jamaica, which is an extremely successful high school program, but that's where the stars come from.
Definitely, but you would find out in the Bahamas we're a little different. The more serious focused coach would find majority of them would be in clubs. While you may have persons in the high school and junior high school and primary school system that might have the capability of teaching and coaching track and field, but you would find out that the clubs are more serious about pushing the athletes to the next level. And so the difference between Jamaica and the Bahamas is that their high school system really pushes the system and the success of their track events, but you would find in the Bahamas there's more of a club.
And everybody can't afford the club, eh?
No, and so we need to go back to the point where we strategically place the right coaches in the various high schools where the talents are, and harness that talent and be able to then push them to the clubs if they want that extra help. But I believe the high school system is where we really need to focus, and we need to get some of the best track coaches to be in the high school system. They don't have to be there full time. Like when I coached, I was part time. I was working in the bank, and I went into school and I assisted. And we need more coaches to do that when it comes to these various high schools. I remember the days of C.C. Sweden and Government High when they was dominant in the government school system. They are no law. They are
I
no
remember
more.
inter-school sports.
Exactly.
We called it inter-school, you know, but it's still very segregated, I find, in some ways.
Very much so. And as a few of my colleagues have said to me before, we have to find a way where we go back to where, in all of the sporting disciplines, the private and public school come back together as one.
Yeah, to be there, because our athletes don't compete against each other enough. That's from where I sit. Your ministry has indicated, and we've been talking about junior athletes and beyond, but your ministry has indicated your intention to reintroduce the Bahamas Games in July. I think the last ones were in the 90s?
2001.
2001, okay. Care to share any updates with us? Will this compete at all with the 50th anniversary celebrations? Because they're slated for July, correct?
Yeah, it's slated for July. Normally in the past, it normally happens during the same time as the Independence celebration. That's why we kept it there. And understanding the 50th, the Secretariat, along with the Secretary of the Bahama Games, has been working hand in hand to ensure that any events that has been taking place by the Independence Secretariat does not infringe on the Bahama Games or vice versa. And so we have scheduled the events around each other so that persons will be able to attend all of the events they want to attend, whether it's the Independence Secretariat for the celebration of our 50th or the Bahama Games. And so we ensure that will be a smooth flow for everyone.
Many of my younger colleagues, when I say the Bahama Games, they have no idea what I'm talking about. For the people who don't know or don't remember, very quickly in a synopsis, what are the Bahamas Games?
Well, let me put it this way. I had on a shirt the other day for the Bahamas Games. A gentleman asked me where that number host is. You know, so say another one.
You got a lot of education to do, but it does bring together our athletes from the various islands.
The whole purpose of the Bahamas Games is to unite the country together as one through the vehicle of sports, and that's where it was all about. And also identifying the talents throughout the various family islands, and that's the reason Bahama Games was created. But the unity of the country, and so again, we want to get back to that stage where we bring the individuals from the various family islands to New Providence and be able to compete in a fun, excited times, and again mix and mingle and meet persons that you may not have known before, and and just have networking, and that's what it's all about. But the plan is that the Bahama Games will still be during July 7th through the 15th. There's going to be weekly meetings moving forward as we begin the preparation. The LOC that was part of the preparation of the Carifta Games is now freed up, and then the chances are we're hoping to use some of them for the better promotion of the games as we move forward for the execution of the games.
We're just about out of time. Final question. By all accounts, this has been a very successful Carifta for you, from athletic performances to hosting. How do you build on that now?
Well, you will continue to build on the Sports in Paradise brand and what we are as a people and the type of event that we present to the world. I think the events around the events was what captured the excitement of majority of the other individuals. I know Guyana and Trinidad are scheduled to host the next two games, and both of them came to see me before they left and said they want to be able to us to share ideas with them on how they can make sure the Carifta Games on their islands as excited as is with us. And so as we prepared for the Bahama Games and the World Relays, we're going to capitalize on these things that we've done to continue having events around the events to excite people so that when you get there, there's no dull moment. And that's what we want to do, and make sure the world understands the best place to come and participate or host an event is right here in the Bahamas.
And last question, as we say, and this is for so many of my Jamaican friends and colleagues, can we beat Jamaica?
In due time, we look at the population, but population size has nothing to do as it relates for us finding our diamonds in the rough, because at the end of the day, there's only one or two athletes on the field at the same time. What happens is Jamaica always has two athletes in the finals, and sometimes we only have one. So the chances are always greater for them to get more medals than us. But at the end of the day, if the B3As and its coaches continue capitalizing on what we've done, moving from 17 to 46 is a big jump. Let's now continue set the bar for about 55, 60, and continue, and hopefully one day, with capitalizing on the field, we will be able to get there.
Again, and win again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Minister, thank you so much. Always so much to talk about, but certainly we are out of time. We thank you. We congratulate you and the government and all the organizers and volunteers and everyone on the successful games. It was a pleasure to watch and to participate for those of us who were in the stands or even just broadcasting. That's going to do it for us and to all those who made these past 50 Carifta games a huge success. We would like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to you. That includes the local organizing committee, the coaches, the parents, and of course our athletes. And to the RTV team, led by our own Jahali Swan as the official broadcaster for these games. A first for us, and congratulations to my colleagues as well. That's going to do it for our discussion tonight. Carifta 50 becoming the next sports powerhouse. Just before we break, our Joshua Williams was on the streets again this week to get your thoughts on this year's Carifta Games. And our Sasha Lightbourne talks about covering Carifta from Curacao. Stay with us.
The much anticipated Carifta Games have come to a close, and residents around the country are still bursting with pride over what they saw at the Games.
It was amazing, the experience. I wish I had went from the very first time it started, but I was able to catch the last end of it, which is Monday, and the ending of the race, the relays and the long jump, I should say, the triple jump. I'm happy and I'm proud to know that we were able to get so much goals this year.
An impressive second place overall finish in the Games, securing the Bahamas a medal count of 41. With 9 gold, 12 silver, and 20 bronze. As for appreciation for our athletes, Veronica Meadows and Shanique Missick say more can be done.
Well, it's more recognition and also put a little bit more into the safety of the athlete and also finances.
Not as much, but, you know, not as much as they should, but yeah, to a certain extent.
Seeing what has transpired, you know, we're able to, you know, work on it some more and to have more persons hands-on in, you know, building up that team.
And by the second day of competition, Youth Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg declared free entry at the Eastern Grandstand of the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. We asked residents what else could be done to get more Bahamians out to these sporting events.
Well, I think it's up to the Bahamian people and so forth like that. And all we have to do, I guess, is just be more proactive.
I mean, get people to be more interested in Bahamian or in us and on the whole in general.
Just keep encouraging people, keep forming communities, keep forming different workshops, you know, just keep encouraging people, you know. We all need to be encouraged. So that's basically what I have to say.
My name is Shanique and I'm on the record.
My name is Latoya Coburn and I'm on the record.
My name is Veronica Meadows and I'm on the record.
I wonder if you could share with me and with our viewers what it was like for you and Team Bahamas as those medals just kept coming in.
Once they started medal presentations, which started to happen as of day 2, I think the first time the anthem played, I can't really put it in words. It just felt as if I was almost having an out-of-body experience to the point where I was close to shedding tears, but I couldn't because the team was right behind me. And so they have this thing where they give people nicknames for different reasons that I won't share. But at that point, I just felt not like a reporter, but a proud Bahamian. And then it happened 36 other times.
What was it like for them
The
as well?
team, I think it almost came across as if they're so used to winning already. There were so many members of that team that have been a part of the 5-time consecutive championships on the older side. Mind you, they had a lot of first-time comers to the team as well. But in fact, the first time the national anthem played, because they were only playing 20 seconds to keep the meet on track, we sang out the entire anthem. Even once they were done, all right, race number, whatever, They sang out. We were still singing, and the parents in the stands, because where they were facing us, so everybody stood. It felt right. It felt at home. You could have told that those swimmers, they know what they came to do, and they understood the assignment.
You mentioned home. How was it different from covering sports here at home?
I'll put it like this. We're definitely doing the right thing here in terms of sports administration and sports management. There were some hiccups where even the Federation officials from the Bahamas had to get involved, but we're on the right track.
So the project really pays itself back.
Correct.
They set up
at the conference.
The school.
As a journalist, I always have to focus on the facts, and sometimes that means going to investigate for myself. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. right here on RTV.
We're back with our trending in social media segment. As you guessed it, this is my favorite one. Social media agent Eudacia Taylor-Stevens has been busy again this past week. She's been keeping up with all the latest. Here's a look at what she came up with. As you can guess, heavy on Carifta. Carifta was trending all weekend with pictures and videos of races and athletes flooding the social media timelines. This particular Facebook post was from triple medalist Adam Musgrove saying, "Forever grateful. Words can't describe how I feel." He called his experience surreal. A great post? Bro, from you running the shades, you win for me. You see, got his 3 medals up, as we say in the Bahamas. Okay, from Twitter. Blake Kathleen tweeting this photo of Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants with the caption, "How I sleep at night knowing Jamaica didn't sweep the 100 meters or the 4x1. Yo, this was my favorite. I tell you, social media lacked no entertainment this weekend. We were going out of the Bahamas, the Jamaicans, all the folks from the Caribbean. There was just lots of entertainment. That was just a great example. Also from Alvion Saunders on Facebook posting about his niece saying, "You showed strength and endurance on that second leg. Your family is so very proud of you." Just one of the great posts you saw on social media this week, with people just not just praising Team Bahamas, but family members. So many photos of emotional hugs and cheers. It was just a great moment. Also from Twitter, 3Ammo tweeting the top combined team medal counts from track and swimming, since we counting. The Bahamas 126, Jamaica 101, Trinidad and Tobago 76. So you combine all the medals, as the Bahamians say, we win. All right, that's it from Carifta. But now on to this from Joey Gaskins Jr., who shared on April 21st and 22nd, Disney Cruise Lines will host vendor and supplier fairs in Rock Sound, in Eleuthera, and here in Nassau to meet with Bahamian entrepreneurs who are interested in opportunities to provide goods and services in support of the company's new destination. I have said it over and over and over, and I say it again. Be ready. When the opportunities come, be ready. If you are an entrepreneur, if you're interested, be ready. Get yourself together. Get your stuff together. Show up. And finally, from Tracy King, who shared this post of her 13-year-old daughter, Tramika, who is a proprietor of The Hook Crocheting. Here, she's posing in a photo of some Easter products and sending big thank yous to all my existing and future customers. I really love this post. This really made me warm, not just because it was crocheting and Easter, but it just shows you the entrepreneurial spirit and what we can do when we put our minds to it. Thank you very much. Hey, next year I want one of them, eh? I just want to put it out there. All right, That's going to do it for our show this week. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Record. Our discussion tonight, Carifta 50 becoming the next sports powerhouse. I want to thank our esteemed guest, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, CEO of the local organizing committee, Lyndon Maycock, and President of the Bahamas Aquatics Association, Algernon Cargo. Be sure and join us again next week with another topic that directly affects the lives of Bahamians. Until then, I'm Jerome Sawyer. I'll see you soon.